You're doing the work. You've cut the carbs. Maybe you're a carnivore. Maybe you're keto. You're feeling better. But when you hear it, don't eat too much protein, it'll kick you out of ketosis. Or maybe you see someone who looks like a Greek god saying, you need 200 grams of protein a day. The result? Confusion, anxiety, and the worst 5-letter word in health, a weight loss stall. I'm Dr. Tony Hampton, and today, we are killing the myths and unlocking the actual mechanism for success. We're not talking about general protein goals. We're talking about your goal. Maximum weight loss, therapeutic ketosis, maintenance. Each goal requires a different fuel mix. And if you get this fat to protein ratio wrong, you are leaving results on the table. We're going deep on 3 key goals: the specific mechanism for each, and the actionable ratio you need to succeed. Let's bring some clarity and inspiration back into your life. First, let's talk about why protein is your hero, not your villain. The core of success, whether it's weight loss or maintenance, is avoiding hunger, right? You want to feel satisfied and not think about food all day long. This is where the protein leverage hypothesis comes in. Our bodies are incredibly smart. They have a biological drive to hit a certain threshold of protein every single day. Think of it like a minimum daily protein quota. Our appetite control system, the part that says, I'm full, only turns off once that protein quota has been met. If your fat intake is too high, or you're filling up on non-nutritive foods, you're eating more and more calories trying to hit that protein minimum. It's like your body is perpetually yelling, more steak, more eggs. I don't care about the fat, I need the protein. When you prioritize protein, you hit that satiety signal faster and your appetite switch flips off. This is the simple mechanism for effortless calorie reduction. More protein, less hunger, simple as that. Now for the boogeyman, gluconeogenesis. The fear that too much protein will turn into glucose and shut down ketosis. Let's be clear, this is highly exaggerated, especially for a metabolically damaged person who is trying to heal. Gluconeogenesis, or GNG, is a demand-driven process, not a supply-driven process. Your liver is not some runaway factory, mindlessly turning all your beautiful beef into sugar. Your brain, your kidneys, and your red blood cells always need a small amount of glucose even in deep ketosis. GNG simply provides that mandatory minimum. If you're not eating carbs, where's your body getting that necessary glucose? You guessed it, GNG. Your body will only ramp up GNG if your body needs it, not just because you gave it protein. This is a crucial distinction. Protein does not turn into cake in your liver. The only time you might see a spike in protein is if your body is extremely insulin resistant. But as you heal, this is less and less of a concern. So, stop stressing and start lifting that steak to your mouth. All right, let's talk strategy. If your primary non-negotiable goal is to drop those last few pounds, or you're in the early stages of a stall, you need an aggressive protein-forward approach. Your body is a masterpiece of energy efficiency. To force it to access stored body fat, we need to create a calorie deficit. And we do that using the protein leverage we just discussed. So now let's talk about the actionable ratio for maximum weight loss. For protein, target 1.5 to 2.0 grams of protein per kilogram of goal body weight, or per pound of lean mass. Aim high here. For fat, aim for a ratio where your protein calories are equal or slightly higher than your fat calories. This is where you have to put your butter knife down for a second. We're not aiming for dry, boring chicken breasts, but we are prioritizing a lean cut of steak or trimming the excess fat off of a pork chop. If you look at a plate and it looks like a T-bone steak with a generous side of tallow, you're prioritizing therapeutic ketosis. For weight loss, we need T-bone with a side of discipline. The mechanism: high protein, high satiety, less overall calorie intake. The body is happy it hit its protein quota, so it doesn't force you to eat a third meal or snack. It then turns to your ample body fat stores for remaining energy. This is how you break a stall. Now, let's flip the script. Maybe you're not chasing weight loss. Maybe you're using this diet for other therapeutic benefits: incredible mental clarity, consistent energy, managing a neurological condition, or simply wanting to experience deep ketosis. For deep therapeutic ketosis, the fat-to-protein ratio must be higher. The goal here is to fuel your brain with ketones and avoid any potential demand for glucose. Here's the actionable ratio for therapeutic ketosis. For fat, aim for a ratio where your fat calories are significantly higher than your protein calories, often a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 ratio by weight, or 75 to 80% of calories from fat. Protein, hit your minimum protein requirement but don't exceed it. This ensures you're getting the necessary amino acids without creating a large energy surplus that your body would have to deal with. This ratio forces your body to produce large amounts of ketone bodies. Why? Because you're starving your body of carbohydrates and minimizing protein. So the primary fuel source has to be fat, both dietary fat and body fat. This is where you embrace the butter, the tallow, and the fatty cuts of meat. You're intentionally using fat as your primary energy source to drive the therapeutic benefits of ketones. Finally, we have the promised land, maintenance. You've hit your weight goal. You feel fantastic. Now the goal is simple. Sustain this lifestyle without becoming obsessed with tracking. This is about living life, not dieting. This is the most flexible ratio because your metabolic engine is now running optimally. Your body is fat adapted and efficient. You can relax a little. Here's the actionable ratio for maintenance. For protein, prioritize and maintain a high minimum protein intake, 1.2 to 1.8 grams per kilogram of goal weight. This is non-negotiable. Protein is key to muscle mass and bone density, which are critical for long-term health, especially as we age. Don't drop your protein. Fat. Let your fat intake be driven by your appetite and your activity level. On a low-carb diet, your fat intake becomes your lever. If you've been doing yard work all day or hit a PR at the gym, you'll naturally be hungrier. And you should add more fat like butter, avocado, fatty meat. If you have a desk day, you might instinctively eat less fat. And that's totally fine. Your body will adjust. You have earned the right to follow your hunger cues, but your core foundation remains prioritize protein, use fat for fuel. Friends, let's wrap this up. There is no single perfect fat to protein ratio for everyone. Stuck or losing, go high protein. Use the leverage. Deep ketosis for mind and body, go high fat. Drive the ketones. Maintenance and freedom. Go protein first and let your fat be driven by hunger and energy demands. You are not a number on a spreadsheet. You are a biological machine designed for efficiency and health. Stop being confused by the macro wars and start listening to your body. Now armed with the right mechanism for your specific goal. You have the knowledge, you have the inspiration. Now go out there and keep thriving. And do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and let me know in the comments, what is your goal right now? Weight loss, therapeutic ketosis, or maintenance? And what ratios are you aiming for? I want to hear from you. Thank you for coming to my video, and I'll see you in the next one.